Good afternoon. It is time for our noonday inspiration, our usual appointment on Wednesday at 12 o'clock, as we give our friends some time to check in. We're so happy that you're here with us today. We have some good things lined up to talk about today, using our daily inspiration for better living, which is our signature publication. And we're talking about the power in asking questions. The power in asking questions. So, wherever you are, let us know that you're here. It's good to see you. Thank you for those of you who have joined already. It's so good to see you. Thank you for your usual support. This is the month of May. It is celebrated as Child's Month in Jamaica. And so we're celebrating children everywhere. And we're celebrating the child in you. Demois, good to see you. Thank you for joining in as usual, knowing that all is well wherever you are. Those of you joining from all over the world, thank you so much for joining. Questions, 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 questions. How are we on asking questions? Sometimes, we are scared to ask questions. Sometimes we are nervous. Sometimes we're excited to ask questions, depending on what the question is. Beverly, good afternoon. And so we're talking today about the power in asking questions. And this is useful right throughout. It's a very empowering thing. In preparing for this noonday inspiration, I started to check myself to see what kind of questions I was asking generally. And I'm encouraging you today to check yourself to see generally what kind of questions do you ask, because that determines the kind of responses, answers, and life experiences that we have, as we'll hear about in a little bit. May, we're talking about our power faculty, and our power faculty, or the physical location, is the root of the tongue, or your throat areas associated with the disciple Philip, and the color that we associate with our power faculty is the color purple. Our writer for the month of May of our daily inspiration is our interim editor, Tanisha Ruan, and so we are blessing her. And she says, there is power in the questions we ask. We have been taught that the universe responds to our questions as we ask for guidance, seek guidance, and knock on the door of wisdom. We ask and get our answers from God. Our duty is to stay open to how the answers come, be alert to a gut feeling, a strong intuitive knowing, or an unexpected call or visit. Pay attention to the beauty in nature and your own profound responses to life. And rather than asking questions like, why me? Our charge is to ask more productive questions such as, what must I learn? Love that, and I want to stop there for a little bit so we can talk a little bit about that. Joyce, good afternoon. I know some of us may be guilty of asking questions like, why is this happening to me? Why me? What did I do wrong? Why am I not this? And so sometimes those questions, every question that you ask is an answer trying to emerge. And so when you ask the questions, they're always answered, they're always answered. And so if you ask what I'm going to term as a disempowering question, then you'll get the answer. If you ask why me, you're going to hear probably you never grew up in the right place, you never finished your subjects, you're not smart enough, all of those belief systems are out there. And so if you're asking a disempowering question, then expect that your answers, the answers that you're coming up with, why me? Why is this thing happening to me again? Expect that your answers may not be as empowering or as enlightening as you'd like them to be. So the question is, the thing is, you must try and ask yourself an empowering question when the situations arise. Michael Beckwith, in one of his great talks, he talks about asking questions. And he says life experiences are happening to us and they're determined by the questions we ask. That's the importance of asking the questions. Our experiences in life, he says, are determined by the questions we ask. And every problem that occurs in our life is a question trying to emerge. Think about it. Every problem is a question trying to emerge. And every question is an answer trying to become. Every question is an answer trying to become. And every answer is an action trying to show itself, or a way of being trying to show itself. And so our job is to ask empowering questions. So the situations in life are getting you to ask a question. Something happens and it's getting you to ask a question. And depending on the question that you ask is whether you grow or whether you go back into this place of repeated experiences of the same nature. Now, what does an empowering question look like? Let's say your issue is illness of some kind, dis-ease of some kind. Then you're not going to ask the question, why me? Why is this happening to me? Because then you'll get all sorts of answers. It ran in my family, this, that, when I was a child, this happened, and all of those answers can emerge. But you ask an empowering question, like you probably will ask, what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of perfect health? How can perfect health look in, through, and as me? And then you will start to draw to you experiences, situations that you can begin to experience perfect health. That's a whole different shift from asking a question of why me? Why is this happening to me? So we're supposed to ask empowering questions. Because all of the problems, they morph into a question. Morph the problem into a question. And the question is an answer trying to emerge. And the answer is a way of being or an action that's calling you forth. So instead of seeing the problems as something that, is bad and, this thing is so awful, see it as an opportunity for you to be something else. For you to do something else. So think about maybe some issue that has come up for you recently, maybe some challenge you're dealing with, maybe some problem, and ask yourself, what questions have I been asking myself around this situation? And maybe the question I've been asking myself, because a lot of the times we tend to ask ourselves, why me? What did I do wrong? And if we're asking those questions, then of course, the answers you're getting. You're going to find all sorts of reasons why you, and usually they're not the wonderful, powerful answers that you want to get. There is a riddle that is spoken about, and it says, imagine there is a genie, there's a goose in a bottle. Imagine there's a goose in a bottle. And the question is, how do you get the goose out of the bottle without breaking the bottle or opening the top and letting it out? Now, this is one of those mind riddles that, possibly it'll get you crazy trying to think about the answer. But what's the answer to that riddle? Remember, I said at the beginning, imagine there was a goose in a bottle. So you have to realize that the goose was never actually in the bottle. You just imagined it there. So how do you get the goose out of the bottle? You have to remember that it was never there in the first place. In the same thing, the problems that are showing up are not problems. They don't exist as problems in the infinite mind of intelligence, of all the knowledge, of all the love of God. There are no problems here that exist. So for you to get to a place of being able to solve whatever it is, you then have to see what we are calling problems or challenges as an opportunity, a question that is asking itself. And the question is asking yourself is, what does life look like for me? If it's a situation of money, the question is, what does abundance look like or prosperity look like for me at this point in time, in my life, world, and affairs right now? That's an empowering question. And that will start to open ways that this whole thing about abundance can start to show up in your life, world, and affairs, because you're asking an empowering question. If your question is, Lord of mercy, why am I always broke? Why am I always poor? Why do I always get these heavy bills? Then you're going to find 50 million reasons why they're always showing up for you. So you have to be asking the empowering questions and ensuring that you are looking at the problems as a question trying to emerge, and then the answers for those problems are already there. Remember, we're told, seek and ye shall find, knock and the door will be open. The answers are already there. The answers are waiting for you to come into a realization of this exists. It is there. But sometimes we're so caught up in what we're not seeing with our physical senses that we become oblivious to the fact that there's so much more beyond our senses, beyond our 5 senses. And that is why we can say, God, show me your way. Show me how I am to be in this moment. Show me what I am to do. Show me how I'm to model my life out of the example that I got from Jesus. Show me, what does health look like for me if it's a situation of health that I'm dealing with. Show me, what does abundance look like if it's a money situation that I'm dealing with. If it's around relationships, around any kind of disharmony, show me, what does love look like in this situation. If it's an area of seeming weakness, show me, what does strength look like in this area of my life. What can it look like for me? If it's an area of something I need to know, an exam coming up, something I'm unsure of, what does wisdom look like for me? What can wisdom show up for me in this way, in this day, in this world, in this life, in this experience? And so we can say, God, show me your way. Show me your way.
The
cry of my heart is to love you more, to live with the touch of your hand.
Stronger each day.
each day. That is our prayer. I've been listening to that all of this week. And I've just been asking, how should life look like for me? The writer says we are in control of our questions, always seeking to know a better way. We work at asking forward movement questions. That's what I call empowering questions. The writer calls it forward movement questions. Lord, what is your divine plan for me? What is your divine plan for me? And then when you ask the question, you spend some time and become still for the answer. You pay attention. You pay attention to what starts to happen in and around you. Because the answer comes as instantaneously as you have asked, and it's for us to align that we can become aware of what the answer is. Where am I needed most? How may I help someone today? Our questions and the things that happen to us when we are listening to the whisperings of our still small voice not only blesses us, but it blesses others. And so it's important that we're asking these forward movement questions, these empowering questions, that we can expand who we are being. We're here to be. We're here to be at our highest potential. That's what Jesus taught us. That we're not here to be mere anything. We're here to rise above in every situation, all the limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, all the disempowering things that are going on around us and sometimes inside of us. And switch to asking some empowering questions. As we go forth, think about, how can I start to ask these empowering questions in areas of my life that I feel stuck? And then begin to ask the questions and listen for the answer. We are always being guided. Remember, prayer, which is what we do, is just a matter of aligning your own thoughts with the thoughts of God. It's coming into union, common union